Hello and welcome to Talk on Nevada. I'm Andy Matthews. Nevada students are back in school this week. And for this week's program, we turn our attention to education. And joining me to discuss this issue is Patrick Gibbons, an education policy analyst with the Nevada Policy Research Institute. Patrick, welcome.
Good morning.
Well, Patrick, one thing I want to get into right off the bat, as Nevada students are going back to school, you've written at length about the poor quality of education here in Nevada. Put that in context for us. How bad is it really?
That's right. The results in Nevada aren't very good. According to the latest data from the U.S. Department of Education, Nevada's graduation rate is 56%. That's the lowest in the nation. NAEP scores for 4th and 8th grade students on reading and math average in the bottom 10 in the nation, and SAT scores for seniors are below average by about 15 points. So the results are not very good in Nevada.
Now, according to most organizations that look at education expenditures, Nevada, for the most part, tends to rank at or near the bottom of most of these rankings in terms of how much we're spending on public education. Couldn't somebody argue that there's a correlation there? That the reason we're getting such poor quality is because we're not making enough of an investment in education. If we were to start to spend more on education here, we'd see an increase in the quality.
That certainly sounds like a reasonable excuse, if you ignore the fact that Nevada has increased per pupil spending by over 150% since 1960, and that's adjusting for inflation. But if you do a regression analysis on test scores and spending, we see that there's a very weak or non-existent correlation between spending and student scores. Now, the correlation that does exist is very, very weak. For example, the 4th grade reading scores on the NAEP exam would show that Nevada would need to increase per pupil spending by about $13,000 per pupil. That's more than double, almost triple what the state claims we spend. We'd be spending about $21,000 per pupil, and we'd rank about average in the nation, despite spending well above everyone else. That's how weak that correlation exists. And if it's true that per pupil increasing spending does improve results, we have to spend a lot of money, increase spending by billions of dollars, and frankly, there's better ways and cheaper ways to achieve results.
What might some of those ways be? I mean, we can all agree that we need to see improvement in education here. It's in nobody's interest, to see anything other than that. But what you're saying is that spending more money, which you're claiming we have been doing over the decades, what you're saying is spending more money isn't the answer. What then is the answer? I mean, if we in Nevada want to see better quality education, what should we be doing?
There's a number of solutions, and there's no single silver bullet that will solve all our problems. So the answer is to have a conglomerate of different ideas working together. And some of those ideas include vouchers and tax credits, which have been proposed in the legislature, but those aren't very popular among Democrats right now. Now, the amazing thing is that the Obama administration, with Arne Duncan as Secretary of Education, is pushing for more charter schools, is pushing for teacher evaluations to be based on student test scores or student achievement, and for merit pay for teachers. This is amazing for Democrats to be pushing for because the unions have traditionally opposed these kind of reforms. Now, unfortunately, Nevada has been obstinate when it's come to charter schools with the moratoriums recently. State law prohibits teachers from being evaluated based on how well their students do and how much their students actually learn. And Nevada hasn't been too open to the idea of merit pay, actually paying teachers extra for how much they actually educate their students.
One reform idea, one new innovative approach to education is starting to take hold here in the state is empowerment schools. And I know that's something that you've written at length about. Explain for our viewers, what is an empowerment school? What's the significance of this particular topic now?
Right. Well, traditional public schools are restrained by a massive bureaucracy that essentially decides for them how many teachers they're going to have, of what type of teacher, the type of school supplies they're going to have, of what type of school supplies. They essentially decide everything. They ration everything for that school. And the school has very little decision over what they need, how much of it they need, and what they're going to do to educate their students. So an empowerment school essentially assigns the dollars to that particular student. So for every student that enrolls in your school, you get those dollars and you get to decide how you're going to spend them. Do you want an extra teacher for this classroom? Do you want to spend it on a language teacher? Do you want extra globes or maps or other different supplies? You get to decide how those resources are used, and you get to decide how your teachers or how the teachers are going to educate their students. So it's essentially a local control over the school rather than having a central bureaucracy dictate top-down how the school is going to run.
And where does that program stand now in our state?
Well, Clark County School District has 17 empowerment schools for this school year. Washoe County School District is the other school district that's required to have empowerment schools, but it has none right now. And then there is one other empowerment school in the state outside the Clark County School District.
All right, Patrick, we're going to leave it right there for today. Thanks very much for joining me. Of course, I want to thank all of you for tuning into this week's edition of Talk on Nevada. Please join us on the web at npri.org for more information on this topic, the private solutions to public challenges facing our Silver State. Just want to remind you that September 23rd is the date of NPRI's 18th anniversary celebration. Tickets are still available online. Carl Rove will be the keynote speaker. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.